am not, and I pray that you are not, more wedded to the flag than you are to the cross. Physically, I live in America, but y'all, I'm in the kingdom. Come on, help me if you can. It doesn't matter who wins the next president election. I got the same king that I've had since the age of 4 years old. Jesus is my king. Right on, King Jesus. He is Lord of all. Birth, life, death, and resurrection of Jesus does affect government. Herod the Great was a tyrant who ruled through creating fear. We've talked about it in Bible study, that if it's not manipulation, it's intimidation. He used intimidation. He made sure folk were afraid of him. He didn't mind having you killed at all. He had people killed for mere sport. And when he heard of this possible birth of the Messiah, he had all the infant boys killed. It was their form of police brutality with the deliberate assassination of male life. That plan has not changed, y'all. Please know that the enemy is still after men. And here's where we have to be wise as serpents, yet harmless as doves. When he does not come directly at men, he goes the back route to use those who are closest to the man. Come on, help me if you can. Make no mistake about it, y'all. It's 2015 and we're getting close to 2016, but one thing has not changed. Men who are real men still love women. That ain't changed. It ain't gonna change. And the enemy knows that if he can't get to a man through direct confrontation, if he can manipulate the mind of women, he can get to the man through the back door. Satan is still after men. The enemy is still after men. Whenever you are locking up thousands upon thousands of men in prison, and then when you let them out of prison because of their prison record, you make sure they're not employable. And then when you make sure they're not employable, if they do anything illegal to make money, you lock them back up. You have put them in a system where they cannot survive. And because they're in a system that they cannot survive, then the next thing you do is to tell his woman, he ain't nothing. Make sure she has an income and tell her you don't need him. So you take him out the house, and when he's out the house, she feels independent because that's what he told her she was. But on the inside, she's still lonely. So then the next thing you tell her is you don't need him for his money because you got your own money. And you don't even need him for your romance because same-sex marriage is okay. All a quest to get the man destroyed. And so Herod destroys the male babies. But the life of Jesus in a believer, just like the life of Jesus in this world, always affects government. No one can truly follow Jesus and be 100% loyal to any political party. Help me now. Y'all, the fact is, this two-party system has multiple hypocrisies in both. You see black on black homicides. Y'all, it's strange to me that some of these shootings occur and they get international news. But black on black crimes, murders, homicides take place on a daily basis. And some of them never even reach the local news. And so you see black on black crimes, and you say black on black homicides, and you say there ought to be more gun control, so you join the Democrats. Only to discover that while they're talking gun control, it's often not with the idea of the folk you were thinking about. That's right. Help me somebody. And so then you have, in principle, in theory, a good idea, but then behind the scenes you have some question marks. You say, well, you know what? I want to believe in self-empowerment. I don't want government programs. I want to be my own victory and my own success story. So you join the Republican Party. Only to find out that their self-empowerment program didn't have yourself in mind. Right-wing Christian conservatism calls itself Christian when it's generally moralizing, not spiritualizing. And there is a big difference. And the Democrats are often reactionaries against their moralizing. And so the two parties go side by side, and if you're not careful, you'll join one team and become anti the other and end up being in some positions against your Christian faith. Oh yes, I rejoice that there's an African American family in the White House. I grieve the fact that they won't be there much longer. But that doesn't mean he was right on everything. If he could run again, I'd vote for him again. But even though I'd vote for him again, y'all, I'd do it with less enthusiasm than I did the last time. Because the LGBT issue has become the new civil rights issue, and racism has gotten worse. And while racism is getting worse and it's on the uprise, there's very little real talk about it. Do you not know that with media being able to control the minds of the masses, the race issue could have been fixed? All you got to do is show more stories of people working together through different races and cultures. And we see those images. If we saw them on a regular basis, just like we've been tricked into believing that you are born gay, we could have been convinced you weren't born racist. While I'm on the street, nobody was born gay. I remember a lady at the church I grew up. When I got older, I realized how beautiful she was. But as a little boy, she used to chase me around the church trying to kiss me, and I would run crying. I got older, I said, will you chase me now? I was all boy then, but as a boy, I wasn't thinking about no relationship with no girl. I was thinking about sports. It was not an issue of that. We're not born that way. We are, and if you are born that way, Dr. E.V. Hill said, be born again. This birth affects government. But not only does this birth affect government, y'all, this birth affected heaven. This birth meant that God put skin on it. I remember that story. That boy was at home, thundering and lightning. He was scared. He got in bed with Mama and Daddy. Mama was willing to let him stay. Daddy said, no, you're getting old now. Go back to your own bed. He got back in his own bed, and the thunder got worse, the lightning got worse. He came back crying, got back in bed. And Daddy said, son, you didn't go back to bed. and pray. He said, Daddy, I prayed last time. He said, go pray again. He went back, got in bed. Thunder got worse. Lightning got worse. The boy came in bed with his parents. Daddy said, son, I'm not going to tell you again. You got to be a big boy now. Talk to God. Go to sleep. He said, I need to talk to God with some skin on. I can't see this one. Y'all, Bethlehem says God put some skin on. God came and started sweating in our heat and shivering in our cold. God came and left a land where death had never been heard of to come here and become death eligible. God left a land where the praises of angels was unceasing to come to this earth where men would curse and persecute him. God put skin. This birth means that the Ancient of Days has become the Infant of Days. This birth means that what Adam failed to do in the Garden of Eden, God has come to do himself. This birth means that God on high has become God on earth. This birth means that his name shall be called Emmanuel. God with us. Come, let us adore him. Worship and behold him. Emmanuel. Come, let us adore him. God has tabernacled amongst us. Heaven sent angels to come and shout glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, goodwill toward all men. This birth had more than just implications to Mary and Joseph. It had far wide-reaching implications. It affects government. It affects heaven. And when he's born in your life, it does not just affect you. It